Keeping men around after the first date. Imagine this. You just got home from the most amazing date. You were at a beautiful restaurant with a table overlooking a local waterfall. The lighting was perfect. The temperature outdoors was perfect. The drink that you enjoyed was perfect. Even better, however, is the fact that the man across from you was even more perfect than your surroundings. Despite the splendor of that waterfall, you find yourself simply keeping all eyes on this new man in your life. The man that you are on a first date with. You loved it. It's too soon to say whether you love him, but you certainly feel the attraction there. You want to continue to get to know this man. You know that you are more than interested in continuing to discover who he is, what he does, and how you're able to get along. All you have to do is make it a point to win him over. With most of the hard work all done at this point, it's time to get down to business. At this point, you understand the principles and concepts that you will need if you want to secure a marriage. All that's left for you to do is secure that first date so you're able to start winning him over. If you know after that first date that you want to keep him interested, then there are ways that you're able to change up your own actions just right to make sure that he picks up on your cues. You just need to know what to do. Sometimes people struggle to really offer those non-verbal cues that show your interest. But for the most part, you should be able to convey your own interest, so you're able to then move on. Really, however, winning that first date is the hard part. From there are simple ways that you're able to convey to him that you're interested in continuing to date. You can work with him to show him that you do care, that you are invested, and that you do find him attractive or worth pursuing. Even better, usually when men pick up on the signs that we will go over in this chapter, they will do the hard work for you. They will start working to make sure that they do pursue you. They will want to continue to see and get to know you just because of the fact they do see that you liked them. Communication matters, and ultimately being able to convey that you had a good time after that first date becomes imperative if you want to succeed in the relationship. As you listen to this chapter, you will have some simple steps that you're able to follow to show him that you are ready to continue that relationship that you have started. You show him that your date was resoundingly positive, and that matters. Yes, this period of time can be overwhelming or scary. It can be difficult to tell him that you're interested in him. It can be tough to find that way that you're able to push and get to know him better. But the truth is, you simply have to get up and do it. You have to just stop and get going. Get out of your head and make a move. That is the only winning move that you have available to you. Tell him you enjoyed it. Begin by telling him just how much you enjoyed going out with him. By telling him that you had fun and letting him see that, you better the situation immensely. You show him that ultimately you are paying attention. You have the drive to do this. You just have to embrace it and get started. The sooner that you do that, the better. The sooner that you get started, and the more sincere that you are, the more likely that you're actually going to win him over in the first place. When you make it clear to him that you've enjoyed being out with him, he's going to be far more interested in going again, especially if he also enjoyed being around you as well. Think about it. Would you want to go out again with someone who clearly didn't enjoy themselves? You'd probably think that things were just not meant to be and move on. You would not want to waste your time trying to pursue someone who clearly was not interested in you. So you move on. This is normal and to be expected. We do not want to feel like we're coercing someone else, or like we are trying to force them into being in contact with us. However, when someone that we like seems to have a good time, it tells us that they felt the chemistry there. You do not have to overdo it or rave about them or anything. However, a quick text saying, "Hey, I had a great time on the date, thanks for everything," is a great start. When you start like this, you make it clear that you had fun without becoming overbearing. You acknowledge him, his efforts, and that you enjoyed him. This is perfect, and it shows that you are receptive to being pursued. Keep in mind that men do not want an uphill battle. They want to make sure that they are on the right track with someone, and that means confirming that they're interested. Keep it warm. So, date night is over, and you've been up all night thinking about that man. That's great, you liked him. Now you have to reel him in, and that is where things start to get technical. Do you message him right away, asking for a new date, or do you wait for him to reach out to you? It's hard to know for sure sometimes, and a lot of the time we get told by other people to let him pursue you. However, we're not in the 1800s anymore, and you are just capable of letting him know you like him, so you are able to get the relationship moving. If you've ever heard the advice of keep it hot and cold early on in the hopes of keeping him interested, this is not quite right. Rather, you should be focused on keeping it warm. Too hot and you seem like you're desperate, or pushing for something too quickly. Too cold and you may seem simply uninterested. When it comes to ensuring that your date is and stays interested in you, you will need to make it a point to find just the right way to show them your interest without going overboard. When you learn how, you are able to engage with your prospective partner in the way that comes across as being interested, but not desperate. You find that perfect middle ground. If he messages you within those first few days, make it a point to message him back. Do not leave him hanging, or he won't think that you're interested. You want to flirt a little bit and make sure that you don't just end up endlessly talking either. Make him want to reach out again. Make him want to contact you again, so he has reason to do so. You want him to feel the need to set up another date, and that means you do not want to give everything up just with instant messenger. Create anticipation. What fun is dating if there is no anticipation thrown in there? You must be able to create that sense of anticipation. We're not talking sexually here. You must be able to convince them that they are anticipating your next date just as much as you are. When it comes to making sure that you're able to get that anticipation built, you can talk about fun things that you're both interested in. Let him know what you're passionate about so he can see what you would want. This also lets him figure out if he can get what he wants as well. When you do this enough, you show him that he wants you. Of course, your conversation shouldn't be boring either. Do not ask about each other's day. You need to flirt and joke. You're trying to make sure that you make him feel like you will be fun, so he'll want to reach out to you in the first place. Think about it. Is it more fun for you to fantasize about dream vacations together, therefore creating anticipation in that manner, or for you to spend your time chit-chatting about your day? While there's nothing wrong with sharing something that was exciting to you, you should also make sure that you take the time to create that anticipation. Make your conversations exciting and happy. Make it a point to spend your time talking about fun things that leave you wanting more when all is said and done. Do not be needy. This brings us to the next point, neediness. Though men like to be needed, they also do not usually find that they are interested when someone is overly needy. When you are too needy, you run into all sorts of issues that are going to serve to disappoint those around you. You must make it a point to figure out the best way to balance everything out. You'll need to find a way to show that you're interested without bordering on the verge of needy. Think about it. Needy can be a major problem. Would you like it if you were out with friends only to have your partner coming to bother you? Would you want to feel like you couldn't run out for a coffee with your best friend without having your partner messaging you, asking where you are, what you're doing, and why aren't you answering your phone every minute? Neediness can be a major turnoff for many people in relationships, men included. Neediness is something that shows that you are not exactly in a position to properly care for what you need to do. When it comes to this neediness, then you must make sure that you find a way to keep it in check. On your end, that neediness is probably going to manifest in you feeling desperate to hear back. You might feel like you absolutely need him to message you, or like you, or must find a way for him to reach out to you. You might be checking your phone every minute or two, waiting for his message, and when you do not hear, you find yourself struggling to feel good about the situation. There is that pit in your stomach, that feeling of self-doubt in which you feel like you will be unable to get by if you do not hear back immediately, and it can be difficult to get past. However, you are obsessing if you give in to it. You are allowing your own negative feelings to hold you back. You are preventing yourself from succeeding because of the way that you engage with the entire situation. And you're really doing no one any favors. Neediness will drain your own confidence when it's not returned. If you feel like you're not getting that positivity returned to you, you're not likely to feel very good. You might feel like you're acting strangely around him because you're desperate, and in return, he will sense you're behaving strangely, so he will also likely pull away. You must make sure that you're able to find ways to keep yourself invested in your own personal life, whether he is in it or not. You must find a way that you'll be able to get past many of your own personal reservations. Remember, you do not own him. Find ways for yourself to find enjoyment in other aspects of life instead. Invest in friends and family, or find a new hobby. The worst thing that you can do is cling to someone who does not want you in the first place. If he's not interested in you, then do not bother. Gradually welcome him into your life. One thing that often scares people away is the idea of jumping the gun. If you feel like you're rushing into a relationship, there's probably a good reason that you feel that way. Because you did. Because of this, welcoming him into your life is a bit of a process. You need to work at it, little by little. You must make it a point to figure out how much room you have in your life and slowly accommodate more and more as your relationships get more serious. Just because things go well during your first date doesn't mean that you will be dating exclusively, especially if you have not yet talked this over. You want to keep your own options open, and for that reason, you should slow down on how quickly you try and bring him into your life. If you want to bring him in, that's fine, but you also must be mindful of just how rapidly you do so. The slower that you do so, the more likely it is you will be successful. This means that at first, you want to keep your own schedule open. Don't cancel what you have to do just to accommodate him last minute. You should be taking that time that you will need and slowly implementing it. This means that if at first you only see each other once or twice a week till you get to know each other better, then so be it. There is very little reason for people new in a relationship with each other should be going on long, intimate vacations together, or even generally traveling together. These activities that should wait until you are closer to each other. Now, that does mean that you will have to wait for yourself as well. You must make it a point to curb your own expectations or your own personal efforts that you're putting in. You need to find a way to balance it out so that you're able to successfully navigate through everything. This means letting go of that clinginess. Additionally, men tend to like to see that you're busy because it implies to them that you're spending much of your time doing your own things. There are ways for you to get through what you need to without him having to worry he's the only one responsible for him. Even better, if you're making space in your schedule for him, he sees that you are flexible and you're willing to work with him as well. Show you are interesting or diverse in interests. Finally, you must show that you are interesting. You should be showing him that you are a complex individual. In this sense, complexity is good. It implies that you are working to provide yourself with many different opportunities for yourself. You are showing that you have more than one interest, and that is exciting. Show him all of these different sides to your personality by making it a point to allow him to see them. This means that you must vary it up as much as you can. Think about your dates for a moment. That's one of the greatest ways that you and he can explore each other's personality, just due to the fact that you will be doing things that you both like, or at least one of you likes enough to share with the other. This means that through this effort, you are being provided with everything you needed to know about what to do, how to do it, and why. When you learn to be yourself, embracing that you are a wonderfully unique person with many different interests and layers, you make yourself exciting. He learns that you are flexible, and that itself is highly beneficial. Mix up the dates that you go on. Maybe you go dancing one night, but choose to get cocktails the next, and the last you go to a sports game. The more that you mix these different activities up, the more that you show yourself as that complex individual that you will need to be. The more that you mix it up, the more that you are seen as someone that is flexible, someone that can do many different things without complaining. You show yourself as adventurous to a degree, and he is going to love that. Men love flexibility. They love that ability to trust that they won't be locked into something. You show that there is potential to be both exciting but classy at the same time. You show him that it is entirely possible for you to be several different things at once, if you know how to implement it.